Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is the Haves and the Have-Nots Season 5, Episode 13, and the name of this episode is My Grandson's War. Man, I'm gonna need a damn drink after this because this was crazy. I mean, this whole episode was just, it was filled with a lot of emotion, and definitely a lot of things are starting to stir up. So let me get started. The episode opens where it left off. It was, when Catherine and Veronica run into each other at the hospital. Immediately, they started taking, subtle jabs at each other and shit. Where, let's see, like for example, she was like, she pretty much looked at Catherine and was like, "You look different," and she's like, "It's in the middle of the night." She's like, "Well, some people just can't look flawless like I do," and she's like, "Oh, so you call this flawless?" She's like, "Yes, on a bad day." And I was like, Veronica is so fucking heartless, it's crazy, and. She's like, "Well, what are you doing here?" She's like, "I'm here to see Hannah." She's like, "Oh, the maid?" She's like, "Yeah, Hannah, the maid, my friend." And she's like, "Darling, you don't have any friends. Get real." So they pretty much are going back and forth and, taking jabs at each other. But, while this is going on, Catherine actually tells them that, that Hannah's grandson has died. And immediately Jeffrey's like, "Oh my God, Candace's son?" And like both of them are kind of like, "Whoa, that's crazy." So immediately Jeffrey is about to go call Candace and like, "I need to tell her what's going on." And she's like, "No, Jeffrey, that's not a good idea. Don't do that." And he's like, "Shut up." And he just like walked off and called her. So we already see that Jeffrey is over Veronica and her bullshit because Veronica been showing her ass. And then like both of them, Veronica and Catherine start going back and forth even more so. And she was like, Catherine was like, "How's your arm?" She's like, "Better." "How's yours?" It's like, "Better." And then like, this damn Veronica pretty much like, well, I can get rid of mine. I mean, with my complexion, I mean, I have cocoa butter, shea butter, but you need surgery. I was like, you. I was like, oh my God, Veronica, really? Veronica went there, like, I can get rid of my scars, but your scars are permanent. And then the next thing you know, we see that Wyatt shows up. And then all of a sudden we see Catherine immediately rushes over to Wyatt, and it's like, "Oh my God, what's going on? What's going on?" And then the girl, Anna, who's the nurse, Catherine's getting into it with her because she's like, "Who the hell are you? What are you doing? What the hell is going on?" And then all of a sudden she was like, "Oh my God, that bitch gave him that fucking money, and now he's in this state." It's like, and she was like, "Yeah, that bitch gave him that money, and this is what the fuck happened." It was like, "So what are you?" Because she immediately thought Anna was like a hoe or something. She was like, "Oh, this is great. He sat up there and spent his money on drugs and whores and all of this shit. What kind of crap is this?" And then the next thing you know, damn Veronica was like, "Yeah, the DA gave him the money, but you should have seen what the hell she did to her." Veronica, and then all of a sudden Catherine was like, "Veronica, shut the hell up, because you know what I'm capable of." She's like, "Yeah, and she's like, "Yeah, I know that, but they don't. Should I let them know?" Like, so they were just like going back and forth and shit with that, and I just thought that shit was hilarious. And pretty much Anna further explains herself once she's able to get a minute, and she lets them know that, "Look, I work with a rehab facility. We do in-home rehabilitation, but his condition was so bad that we didn't have the equipment to treat him at the house, so we brought him to the hospital." And Jeffrey pretty much says that, "Look, yes, we are going to make sure that he's getting the proper care and everything." And 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 then Catherine's like, can I see him? And they're like, Anna's like, I don't think that's a good idea, because you're one of his triggers. So, and she's like, what do you mean? I'm his mother. I should have the right to see him. And Jeffrey's like, you will see him, just not right now. You don't need to see him now. The recovery process is going to take some time, and he needs to go through this process alone, and then we can reintroduce you into his life. But right now, it's not good. So Catherine reluctantly agrees, and Jeffrey assures her that he's going to keep in touch with her and actually keep her updated on Wyatt's recovery. And she pretty much did this shit when she told him, I am so glad that you have your father's heart, and walked the fuck away. And you saw Veronica's face. I was like, she got you there, bitch. She got you there. Back also on the other side of the hospital, you have Hannah and Benny. Hannah is completely distraught. She's like, how we gonna bury him? I don't got no insurance. I don't have anything. How we gonna bury him? How we gonna bury him? And then Benny's like, I got it. She's like, how you gonna have it? What? We don't have nothing. We staying at that God-forsaken motel, and I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing to bury him with. And then Mitch stepped in. He's like, you don't have to worry about that. I got you. You don't even worry about that. And then she's like, okay, we'll call Mayfair, and they probably will be able to do it for cheap. So therefore it's not like a big financial. It won't be that expensive, needless to say. And then next thing you know, Catherine finally shows up. And Catherine pretty much excuses the men like, look, let me talk to my friend. And they politely get up and they let Hannah and Catherine talk. And in this scene, I am going to go on and say this. Crystal Fox, you deserve the NAACP Image Award, and you deserve an Emmy, because you brought such high emotion to the role of Hannah that I was nearly moved to tears. Because just to see her pour out all that emotion about the loss of her grandson. But Catherine was very supportive, because she said that, look, I'm not going to throw out any subliminals because I know what it's like to lose it. And you never know what it's like unless it happens to you. I know what you're going through because I lost my daughter. And the last thing you want is somebody giving you some cheap sentiments like, oh, I hope everything, like, I hope God does this and God does that. He said that, and she said that people sometimes say the wrong things, and all it does is just heighten more your mourning than it does slow it down. So she's like, look, sometimes people say stupid things, but one thing I will say is that I remember a good friend told me this, and she's pretty much talking about Hannah, that when you're going through something like this, that pretty much it comes in waves. You have moments where you're going to be up, and you have moments where you're going to be really down, and you're not going to know what to do, but you just have to ride the wave. So I thought that was cool, because I remember when Hannah had that conversation with her. So it was cool that how they brought that back, because now she's telling this to Hannah, and pretty much Hannah is just broken. She's like struggle, pain. It's like I go from nothing to nothing. I try to do the best I can. I try to live right. I try to do the right thing by this kid, and look what happened. He is now dead on a steel plate, and I don't even have money to bury him. And then she just broke down. He's dead. And just, man, I have to say, Crystal Fox did that. Like, I was like, wow. And then also Renee Lawless, she acted her butt off in this scene too. Like, the both of them came together as friends. It wasn't about status. It wasn't about money. And Catherine pretty much was there to support her friend, because she met little Quincy, so she got attached to him too. And to know that just that quick that little boy died, yeah. So it was cool that Hannah was actually there to be supportive to her. Then we get a scene back at the damn Artesian with Brandon and Candace, a.k.a. Oscar. He's pretty much, he's pretty much just in the room because she was in the bathroom and he was already in the room. She's like, what the hell are you doing here? Get the hell out. And he's like, you realize I am paying for this room night? She's like, yeah, do you think I give a shit? Get the hell out of here. He's like, look, I put surveillance in this room and yet you took it out. She's like, yeah, and I'm going to take it out again once you leave here. She's like, look, I really need you to get on your job and really trap this guy because you only got 3 more days left. Like, look. And she's like, why is this so important to you, Brandon? What is it to you? And he says that, look, I'm working with some clients who are paying to get him, who pretty much are paying me to get him out the race because they have another candidate that they want to win. And, you know, fucking Candace is like, he's gonna win. She's like, no, he's not, because at the end of the day, he's not what you think he is, and he doesn't have this, you know, squeaky clean, you know, lifestyle that he makes everybody believe. Nobody is that perfect. You know, one before your laws of power. How about that? And pretty much she was saying, and then pretty much he lets her know that, look, you know, if you help me to set his ass up and take him down, within 8 years you can be first lady. So immediately Candace was like, first lady in 8 years, really? Like, my face right now is on every fucking news station right now. I'm pretty much wanted for murder. He's like, man, we can sweep that under the rug. It's nothing. Like, don't even worry about that. You know, but he's saying that, look, you got to nail this guy and you got to do it because you only got 3 days left. So you only got but so much time. And, you know, she's like, look, you know, and pretty much she's like, but you're talking about 8 years though. And Oscar reasserts to her that, look, you have to think about the long game. And she's like, well, I don't think long. She's like, exactly. That's why you keep getting fucked up. That's why you broke right now. That's why you ain't got nowhere to go. And that's your problem. You with the quick buck, you get it quick and you lose it quick. And that's the problem. Because he said, then he pretty much dropped her with some science. He said that power begets money. Money never begets power. And he's like, and she's like, you know what, get the hell out of here. You said that again, I'm paying for this room. So it's like, oh, what, so you my pimp now? And he's like, no, I'm your partner. But you got 3 more days to nail his ass, so you need to get up on your shit. And, you know, let's make this happen. So pretty much we get a scene back with Veronica and Jeffrey. They're at the hospital. The doctor lets them know that that Melissa's fine and the baby's fine. And pretty much she put the doctor lets her know, like, look, you know, she needs to see a friendly face because she's very depressed. And she said that, which is all the reason why I should not see her. But trust me, I'll deal with her eventually, but no, I'm not going to see her, and I don't want to see her. But then he was saying, but then also the doctor told her that she needs counseling. She's like, well, does it affect the baby? Because all she cares about is the baby, because it's something that she can hold it's something that she can hold over Jeffrey's head. So due to the fact that she's pregnant with Jeffrey's baby, she wants to make sure that baby's born, because if that baby's born, she can pretty much stick that to Jeffrey for the rest of his life. So it's one of her cards that she's playing. So, and it was just crazy because, like, Jeffrey ends up deciding, like, look, I'm gonna go see her. And she's like, why? She's like, she needs to see somebody. This girl just tried to kill herself. Are you serious? I'm gonna go see her. Then we get the scene of scenes. Mama Rose and Jim. I think they're at the Artesian or at a restaurant or somewhere like that. And pretty much she's like, I'm not happy. And it's not good. And he's like, yeah. And then she reminds him, you remember 2008? And he's like, the race riot. She's like, yeah, I'm that angry right now. And then she's like, who the hell is this dude War? And he pretty much let him know, like, look, he's a thug off the street. He actually kidnapped me a while back. You know, he was working with Candace, and they pretty much blackmailed me and took some provocative pictures of me and shit, and pretty much blackmailed me for about $7.4 million. But she lied to him about how much money it was. So therefore, now he's against. So pretty much, she set him up, and planted drugs in his car. And again, that wasn't her. That was Mitch. But that's what Jim thinks, because Jim hasn't had any interaction with Mitch, so he's going by what Ward told him. So he's like, well, then that's when I ran into him again, was at jail, and then pretty much we decided to work together. He was supposed to get these pictures for me, and and Catherine actually has a copy of one of the pictures too. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. And but the detective pretty much got the rest of them, the new DA, and then he said that that's pretty much what it was. He's supposed to be getting some pictures from Candace from me, and that was pretty much the deal. So then she's like, oh, so that's why you had David get him out. And he was like, yeah. And she's like, look, I have always been there for you. And she's like, yeah. And and then she pretty much drops the bomb and lets them know that, look, this son of a bitch shot at my grandson, and yeah, this motherfucker's gotta pay. Like, he gave me no choice. And then all of a sudden he was like, look, you need to kind of slow down, because you know how way things are right now, especially, with just the recent death of the DA. Shit is hot right now. Like, you do something like this, it can get really heated in here. And then she pretty much says, why would you worry about heat? I was like, oh shit, Mama Rose. I like this new Mama Rose, because she just got that look like straight, mafia, like pretty much like a mobster. Like, she is like got that look like she will fucking rip your heart out and won't blink doing that shit. Like, she has that look, and it's crazy. But when she told him, like, why would you worry about heat? I'm like, yeah, Jim, as evil as your ass is, why would you worry about heat? But mainly it's because he wants to make sure that they're in the clear with this whole Jennifer Salison situation, because the Malones got her body. And he's like, look, just let me talk to him. He's like, why are you protecting this kid? He's like, man, I don't give a shit about this kid. I just want to let him know what the hell he did, so therefore he knows what he's up against. And that's all I'm saying. He obviously doesn't know. So he pretty much calls War. War is just like, man, what the hell you want? And he's like, look, we have a problem. He's like, look, I didn't know that kid was in there. And he was like, okay, but, there's something else that also happened. He's like, look, I didn't know the kid was in there, but, I don't feel sorry that the motherfucker's dead, though. And I'm just like, yo, War's got to go. Like, War has got to go by the end of the season, Tyler. So, Tyler, I'm telling you this directly, War's got to go. He's got to go. So, Jim and him are talking on the phone, and Jim is like, look, I need you to get up out of Savannah and all this shit. He's like, man, I ain't leaving town. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't doing nothing. And I'm just like, War, you fucking idiot. You are such a fucking emotional wreck. You don't even realize that you done got into it with the fucking mob. And they are a militia compared to what the fuck you have. So he's just so in his own shit and was just talking shit to Jim and even hung up on Jim and shit. So pretty much she lets him know. So pretty much Mama Rose lets Jim know that you better find him before I do. And then next we actually see that Jim and David, after Mama Rose kicks Jim out the restaurant and told him to get the hell up out of here, he ends up calling David. And and then there was a part where he was like, so I hope your grandson's okay. And she's like, oh no, he's not dead. He's like, So you mean to tell me you ready to go to war and your grandson's and your grandson is actually alive? He's like, no, it's about the principle of the situation. He's a Malone. We need to fucking send a message out here that the Malones are not to be fucked with. So Mama Rose is in it, for blood. Pretty much, Jim calls David. He lets David know about the meeting with Mama Rose and everything, and and also that War shot at Mitch, and he's like, oh yeah, that's a power kid. So yeah, Mama Rose is out for blood now. So even David knows that Mama Rose ain't fucking playing. So the plan is that they need to get to War before she does. And that, mainly the fact that they want to take care of it before the fact that she got that DA's body. She's like, she got a package, and I want to make sure that package is dealt with, before, above anything else. And pretty much that was the end of that scene. Then back at the hospital, Hannah is still disheveled. They're all walking, out the hospital, and they get cornered by a detective and the police. And the police so happens to be fucking Justin. So Justin pretty much finds out. So pretty much what's ended up going on is, so pretty much the damn detective who was being extremely aggressive starts asking questions about the shooting, and Candace mentions, Warwick. She gives Warwick's full fucking government. Warwick something Lewis. So I was like, damn, and that's all the fuck she said. And then all of a sudden, he's like, Benny. He's like, how the hell you know who the hell I am? It's like, you're Candace Young's brother, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, yo, so then he's asking questions about, because I think what happens is that after they did the crime scene, they actually got Benny's DNA from the bracelet that was on Quincy's body. So the damn cop just starts asking all these damn questions and shit, and Benny ain't trying to tell him shit. He's like, yo, what? He's like, look, so have you been in touch with your sister? He was like, no, I've been trying to call her, but, she ain't been answering my phone calls. And he's like, okay, so why don't you give us your number? Why don't you give us her number? He's like, man, I ain't giving you my sister's number. You better go somewhere with that. He's like, well, you need to find another way of look, we just need to talk to her. I'm like, well, fine, you need to find another way to talk to her, but I'm not going to give you nothing. And he was like, look, I can actually ask you the questions right here, or I can do it to the station. I'm like, well, you ain't got nothing to arrest me on, so you might as well just let me go. And he's like, oh, okay. All right. Benjamin Young, you are arrested for the murder of Quincy. You are arrested for the murder of Quincy. I was like, oh shit. And I was just like, man, it was just something about that detective just made me sick. Like, I just couldn't stand his ass because he was pressed, and he really don't got nothing. But I mean, due to the fact that Benny's bracelet was on the body, they pretty much say that since his DNA was on the body, they can try to pin the shit on him that he's arrested for the murder of Quincy Maxwell. So pretty much that's what went down. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck is gonna happen now? And I'm just like, wow, this episode just took me for a tailspin. It was somewhat of a filler episode, but it was a good episode, and a lot of things happened. But yeah, if I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to y'all about it. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys. So subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of the Have and the Have Nots. So until then, everybody, take care.